Yo, how's it going everybody? You got Sketch here and welcome back to the channel. On this episode we're looking at the long-awaited license project from Bitmap Bureau, putting their spin on one of the most iconic sci-fi franchises in modern media. We're checking out Terminator 2D, No Fate, developed by Bitmap Bureau and published by Reef Entertainment, releasing in 2025. This is legit the Terminator 2 tie-in game that everyone wanted back in the 90s, compared to the ones that console gamers received back then. The LJN game should bring up some memories for some of you. Bitmap Bureau is known for crafting excellent yet often brutally difficult games. So how does this compare now that they have a popular licensed IP? Well, let's find out. In a dystopian timeline, Judgment Day is where Skynet becomes self-aware and wipes out most of humanity. Sarah Connor's son, John, will be pivotal in the resistance for a world where machines have overtaken mankind. Skynet sends a cyborg into the past to assassinate John, and it becomes a race between the T-800 and 1,000 Terminators to save or kill him. If they can prevent Skynet from going online, they can save the future. Fate is in your hands. Gameplay-wise, you'll play through moments of the film Terminator 2 in a 12 to 16 stage 2D run and gun that recreates several scenes from the movie and provides the movie tie-in that's faithful to the source material. You can shoot in 8 directions and lock your fire by hitting the left trigger. You can also slide and climb obstacles, which does take a bit of getting used to, but once it's dialed, the platforming gets a little less tricky. You can melee attack, and during each stage, character controls will switch up for characters that can or can't jump like the T-800. Through the game, there will be several different sequences like straight up run and gun segments, vehicle and stealth sequences like Sarah Connor's escape from the hospital. There are areas where you can take cover in doorways reminiscent to Blackthorn or Rolling Thunder, and going up and down ladders allows you to drop onto enemies from above, and the platforming will let you lose a hit point for falling into pits instead of instant death. Terminator 2D is also challenging with tons of enemies and hazards, and if you're running the arcade mode, you have to do all 12 levels in one life with no checkpoints. 16 stages if you do the alternate story route. The story has branching paths that will change several missions depending on if you let Dyson live or not, and the separate paths do change the story, as well as making certain choices does tweak the lore in ways that are true to form. You can take up to 5 hits before losing a life and needing to restart the stage from the beginning. There are checkpoints that will refill your health, but unless you get to it, you must start the stage from the top. Going through each stage, you'll mow down enemies and get to the mid and main bosses that mostly come from the film, alongside several from Bitmap Bureau and a few low-key tributes to other iconic run and gun franchises like Metal Slug and Rolling Thunder. Bonus items will be around like skulls, health kits, weapon pickups, and finding continued coins around the map are the only way to get extends. If you can manage to not get hit before getting to a checkpoint, you'll get an additional hit point. Each stage breaks down your score at the end, leading to the next set of cutscenes and following stages. You'll move between 1995 with the T-800 or Sarah Connor, and the Future Wars as either Sarah or John Connor. The Future War stages play like Contra, where you get weapon upgrades and your melee becomes a grenade. The special weapons count down from pickup and last for 30 seconds. And the combat roll or dash gives you a few invincibility frames if you time it right, but once you get the timing, you can dodge and roll through a lot of the game's hazards. Graphics-wise, Terminator 2D is an abstraction engine designed by Bitmap Bureau that outputs to 224p resolution graphics. This engine is seen in many of their releases like Xenocrisis and Battle Axe, with some excellent pixel art that captures the likenesses and cadence of the films. The wagging finger of Robert Patrick on the opening cutscene is awesome to see, considering this is what people were expecting 30 years ago with its home releases. Compared to other console games that came out, there were numerous scenes that were not recreated that this version rectifies. Putting in the role of Sarah and John Connor alongside the T-800 Terminator, you'll play through memorable scenes like the motorcycle chase and assault on Cyberdyne Systems HQ. Environments are vividly detailed with elements that fans and newcomers will recognize, and the parallel scrolling scene throughout each stage feels like a juiced up version of the Sega CD game and looks sick here. The stages showcase well done recreations of areas from the deserts to the LA River, and seeing these in game is rad, and the further you get, the environments become more elaborate and interactive. While it's easy to get lost in the details of each level, keep in mind the Terminators are on the clock, especially on the chases with the T-1000. These foot chases with the T-1000 are something you'll see a couple times, and each is incredibly tense, since they're all one-hit encounters if you're caught. The environments they happen in are also iconic scenes from T2 that stunningly recreate those scenes while making it very fun to play through. The motorcycle and freeway chase scenes also stand out with their two-plane mechanics dodging hazards and attacking enemies. Sprites are well animated and have several frames for their attack and damage phases, and these call back heavily to games like Metal Slug and Gun Force. It has a look of rotoscope graphics Delphian games were known for, but moving at a breakneck pace. When sprites go into cover, a silhouette casts over them, and vice versa when enemies walk out of doorways, the light casts upon them. These are small details, sure. The attention paid to them as you play is astonishing and refreshing to see finally for a Terminator game. Sprite designs draw from the source material, throws in a few from the comics, and adds a few original enemies. The collection of enemies is pretty dope here, from humans to cyborgs, and the more it goes on, the crazier they get in scope and intensity. For OG run and gun players, this may feel like a greatest hits of encounters, and for newcomers, it will be an introduction to enemy and boss archetypes seen throughout the genre, all of which are well done encounters. Several cutscenes break down the story of moving through the past and future, and it feels like the director's cut of the film with even more additional scenes. It adds several what-if scenarios and alters the path of the game should you choose. Aside from adding extra dialogue, it adds up to 4 additional stages of the game itself. The cutscenes are only parts that surprisingly don't feature the full likeness of the T-800 Terminator as Arnold Schwarzenegger, but other than that, the original cast down to Danny Cooksey is accurately redone in pixel art. Sound-wise, Terminator 2D is sick with tunes that feel like they're straight out of the film's action sequences. The Future Wars part feel like Contra arrangements coupled with an almost James Cameron touch. Lee Mintrum delivers an explosive soundtrack with all types of tunes that hit several boxes. The tunes shred, building hype on the combat stages and tension during those chase sequences. The soundtrack hits with those huge tunes you'd expect from a Bitmap Bureau game, and this certainly does not disappoint. And yes, Back to the Bone and the song from the Biker Bar are both included in the game's soundtrack. Sound effects have a few sounds taken out of the film and adds insane levels of boom. Playing this with headphones on is a nice bassy experience and feels like the games you'd hear in arcades during the 80s and 90s. Impacts on enemies have a nice weight to each hit, and taking damage has a pronounced thud. Weapons sound punchy, and each explosion has some shattering resonance to them. Voiceovers are sprinkled throughout the experience, like when you get weapon upgrades and find special items, and also it wouldn't be a Terminator game without a voice saying "terminated" when you perish. Terminator 2D No Fate is a fantastic game even though it isn't perfect. The presentation of it all is phenomenal, and the gameplay is very challenging while still being very fun. A point of contention is the game's length once you get your bearings, but while it's short, it only comes after getting smoked numerous times before making it to the end. Getting that first clear will take a moment, but with its difficulty settings, you can pick your poison, be it mild or bold, alongside several side modes. The branching paths do add a bit more substance, making it possible to run the story 100% within 2 hours, and compared to previous efforts for our OG Terminator experience, this is hands down one of the best in the series lineage, hitting similar heights to the arcade game decades ago. As mentioned earlier, this really felt like playing the director's cut of the film, and the fan service is abundant here. If you're a Terminator fan or a fan of run and gun games, this is a certified must play. Terminator 2D No Fate gets an 8.5 out of 10 and comes highly recommended for run and gun fans, along with arcade game fans, since this has a lot going for it. After a long wait, there's a contender for the best Terminator game next to the Sega CD and Midway arcade game. This game was a blast to play despite having some minor gripes with the controls, though once they gel, you're off to save the future. Numerous challenges and unlocks become available once you get your first and subsequent clears, so there's some meat on the bone here with the gameplay. The Day 1 editions currently go for $30 to $50 loose, and around $50 to $60 for complete copies. The collector's editions go for around $40 to $140 for complete copies, though both come with a lot of bonus items if you can snag either one. This is quite the bundle either way. This is available on all current and past gen consoles, and is a certified banger for run and gun fans and platform games, especially if you're a Terminator fan. This one should absolutely be in your collection. And thank you so much if you made it this far into the video, and if you found this video helpful, that's awesome, glad you used it as a resource. Check back often, we'll have more reviews and commentaries coming up in the near future. But until then, take it easy and stay safe out there. I'll see you on the next one.